Let's take a look at your Caribbean report for tonight. In your Caribbean report for tonight, we turn to Antigua. The former top banker regulator, Leroy King, has been ordered extradited to the U.S. to face charges that he helped financier Alan Stanford conceal a $7 billion fraud scheme, Antigua's top prosecutor stated. Director of Public Prosecution Anthony Armstrong said that the Chief Magistrate Ivan Walters ordered King removed to the U.S. in a decision issued Monday. Armstrong, who argued for his removal, said that King has 15 days to appeal the decision to the nation's higher court. U.S. prosecutors allege Stanford and his co-conspirators that they took money from the new investors to repay earlier investors who bought allegedly bogus certificates of deposit from the Antigua-based Stanford International Bank Ltd. As the island of St. Lucia bucks and tends to harvest strong growth for the United States travel market, tourism officials are welcoming additional JetBlue Airways flights from New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport to St. Lucia's Huanara International Airport, almost 2 months ahead of the official start of the summer season. St. Lucian tourism officials report that airlines, which began service to the island last October, will increase flights from 3 to 5 per week starting May 1st, 2010 through the Labor Day weekend in early September to meet travelers' demands and just in time for the start of the 2010 St. Lucia Jazz Festival, which will be held May 1st to May 9th. Montserrat's Chief Minister Reuben Meade and Deputy Governor Sarita Francis are attending the Overseas Territory Disaster Management Seminar in the UK this weekend. The officials, along with Acting Director of Disaster Management Coordination Agency Brent Kirwan, will be participating in the 4-day program sponsored by the United Kingdom Foreign Office. The seminar, which is being held at Bournemouth University Disaster Management Center, includes a presentation by former Governor of Montserrat, Frank Savage, who served there from 1993 to 1997 during the onset of the volcanic crisis. Some of the topics to be covered are strategic disaster management and integrated objectives of regional and island development. The officials are expected to return to the island following the intensive short course. And finally, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, the U.S. woman at the center of the major scandal of transporting Haitian children to the Dominican Republic after the devastating earthquake will be tried in Haiti, her attorney told AFP on Monday. Laura Silsby, one of a group of missionaries from the western U.S. state of Idaho, was detained at the border of the Dominican Republic on kidnapping charges following the devastating earthquake. She will now stand trial on charges of irregular travel, according to her attorney, who spoke to reporters following a court hearing Monday. Silsby and her fellow Baptist missionaries were arrested on January 29th as they tried to take children to the neighboring Dominican Republic by bus without the necessary documentation. Haitian authorities later determined that all 33 children that the U.S. missionaries tried to remove from the country illegally had parents with whom they have all been returned. The other 9 missionaries were released and allowed to return to the United States, but Silsby, the leader of the group, remains detained in Port-au-Prince. Recently at the University of the Virgin Islands, I got a chance to taste some tasty history. Let's take a look. I'm here with Miss Samuel, and she's teaching us how to make the infamous historical horseshoe. Miss Samuel, tell us a little bit about what you're making and the significance of it, because from what I understand, this pastry has a historical side to it as well as being tasty. Is that correct?
Yes, in the olden days, especially the older folks, they used to use it in the evening time for a snack, because one of the things that it have baking soda, and that usually settle the stomach at night. They'll eat a cookie with a glass of milk, something like that. In these modern days now, it's going out of style. You hardly find anyone that make it. As a matter of fact, I don't know anyone else that make it.
That makes the horseshoe.
Yeah.
Baking soda, it's a great property of a digestive aid, and I understand that would be the reason for having it towards the end of the day, allowing your stomach to settle. I think a lot of people have really kind of forgotten the uses and the great properties of baking soda. You know, in the times of the economy that we're going through right now, it's good to try to learn these historical remedies, as well as some of the reasons and properties for using some of those old things. Isn't that correct?
Right, right. And we need some of the younger folks to start doing some baking and cooking, because of the old time recipes are going out now, and They don't know to do it. Sometimes you ask them about certain things, and they'll ask you, "What's that?"
Mrs. Samuel has kept this tradition going, and she is the 9th reigning champion, I understand, of making the horseshoe, correct?
That's what it is. Ninth reigning.
For 9 straight years, you have been the champion of making the horseshoe.
No, for about 20 or 30 years.
20 or 30 years, so we have really been learning from the master. And right over here, we've actually got some cookies that are cooling and ready to go. Are these cool enough where I can taste one of these beautiful things? They certainly are beautiful. It is called the horseshoe. And as you can see, it has the same consistency, and it's very reminiscent of what a gingerbread cookie would be. Mmm. It certainly is delicious. Wes is going to be very jealous that he didn't get the opportunity to try these things, so this will be good. And before we close, we also want to catch up with Mrs. Sanders. And Mrs. Sanders is the department head of this whole happening, are you not?
Yes, yes. Thank you for being here with us today. We're excited about having the Horseshoe Workshop. We know that Miss Samuel is an icon, and we want to preserve this as part of our cultural inheritance. I am the Assistant Director of the 4-H Family and Consumer Sciences program here at the University of the Virgin Islands. And we periodically have this kind of workshop because we really want to work with the community to preserve as much culture as possible. And we're glad that you came to be with us today.
Well, I'm glad to be here, not only just to have the tasty treat, also to get, a little bit of history as well. Now, a lot of people that may have watched this segment are thinking to themselves, I want to be involved in this kind of program, and particularly, I'd almost forgotten the horseshoe, and I want to get that horseshoe in my family. And how would they be able to get a hold of that recipe and get involved in your program?
That's very easy to do. Thanks for reminding me of that. It's very easy to do. You may call us here at the university at 692-4094, Miss Jeremiah, or 692-4083, Miss Josiah. Both of them will send you, well, they could email you the recipe if you'd like one. So you could stop by our office here on campus at the Cooperative Extension Service Research and Extension Center. Room number 132 is our office.
Well, we certainly want to thank you for taking your time out, bringing this to the university and bringing this to Channel 8, and introducing us to the horseshoe for some of us who have never had one before, and also to thank Mrs. Samuel for all her time, dedication, and keeping the horseshoe going. Can we get a big round of applause? You are the greatest. For News Channel 8, I'm a very happy Jerome Aegean.